Good afternoon. We are here with the topic inverted pendulum. What is inverted pendulum? Briefly, we can say that inverted pendulum is the pendulum that has its center of mass above its forward point and is unstable and without additional hub will fall over. The inverted pendulum is a classic problem in dynamics and control theory, and it is used as a benchmark for testing control strategies. Now let us move to the next topic, system modeling. System in this example consists of an inverted pendulum mounted into the motorized cart. In this case, we will consider a two-dimensional problem where the pendulum is constrained to move in the vertical plane shown figure. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Design criteria. Design requirements for this system are settling time for theta less than 5 seconds and the pendulum angle theta never more than 0.05 radian for this vertical. And next slide. Next slide. System equations. For the free body diagram of the inverted pendulum, we derived the Lagrange's equations and we converted them into linear equation and we made transfer function from this. Now I will invite Adul to continue the presentation.
Next slide. Okay, now we will look at the analysis part. From the main problem, we derive the open loop transfer function of the inverted pendulum system. The P pendulum and P cart is obtained as follows. Next slide. Okay, these transfer function are valid only for small values of angle phi, which is the angular displacement of the pendulum from the vertical upward position. Considering response of the pendulum to a 1 Newton second impulse applied to the cart, design requirements are: first one is settling time less than 5 seconds. The second one is pendulum angle not more than 0.05 radians from the vertical. Okay, first we observe the open loop impulse response of the inverted pendulum system. After adding the following impulse command, we got the open loop impulse response plot. We can see from the plot that the system response is entirely unsatisfactory. It is not stable in open loop. The model is valid only for small angle phi, but the pendulum position is shown to increase past 100 radians, that is 15 revolutions. We also obtained the poles and zeros of the system. Poles of a system can also tell us about the time response. After running the commands, we got a pole in the right half of S plane, which indicates that the system is unstable. Next slide. Okay, now we will observe the open loop step response. We need LSIM command to simulate the response of our model input. From the graph, it is observed that the response to a step input will also grow unbounded. We can also obtain the settling time using LSIM info command. It is found that the settling time is more than 5 seconds. So these results confirms that the system response to a step input is unstable. Okay, so we need to design some sort of control to improve the response of the system. Here we are using three controllers: PID, root locus, and frequency response. Now Emil will continue with the controllers.
Hello, sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello.
You can continue. Yeah, you can
Myself,
continue.
Emil Roy. I'm going to taking the one of the topics of the project, that is a controlling part. From the modeling and analysis, we set up a base that the modeling be done using the transfer function, and from the analysis we got the analysis that the system is unstable. So to make it stable, we need a controller. There are three controllers that we are going to introduce: PID control, root locus control, and frequency response controller. So here I am going to explain the first two controllers, PID and root locus controllers. So first of all, when we look into the PID control, we know that the full form is proportional, integral, and derivative controller. Here there is a block diagram is given such that the main function of a controller is to check whether the output is what we required, that we give an input and check the output is what is correct. If there is any error in the output, the controller should try to reduce it. That's the function of a controller. That's a PID controller. Here we coming. Next slide. Here we consider that there are two systems. We consider it as a separate system, that is for one for pendulum and for another for card system. So we will attempt to control the pendulum's angle without regard for the card's position. From the modeling, we said that our input is the impulse that is given to the card, and the output is the angle of the pendulum that we needed. So here we control the angle of pendulum. How we control? The design criteria are: the pendulum should come into its vertical upright position within the 5 seconds, and the angle should not vary much more than 0.05 radians. Next slide. So here consider a schematic diagram for pendulum itself. The card's position will given in the next slides. Next. When we here there are three gains for the PID controller, that is proportional gain, integrator gain, and derivative gain. Here we all give unity and we write a code in MATLAB, and we got a response like, next slide. Next. Like this. That means if Kp equal to 1, Kd equal to 1, Ki equal to 1, the response is like this. Our requirement is that the pendulum should come into the position within the 5 seconds and should not vary beyond. When we look into the response here, the pendulums is not coming within the 5 seconds, and the 0.05 radian condition is not met by here. So here we increase, first of all, Kp. Proportional gain is increased to 100. And when we look into the response, next. It is like a oscillatory response, and the overshoot is high. If there is any overshoot in any response, we need to increase the derivative gain, that is Kd. So we increased Kd up to 20, and after the finally we got a response like, next slide, like this. When we look into the graph, just to zoom, Anis, can you zoom it? If we look into the graph is such that the 0.05 is the maximum radian. Here the output response is we got like that. It doesn't overshoot 0.05, and the time is coming within the 5 seconds. That is the PID controller for angle of the pendulum. So in the next slide, I'm going to explain what happened to the card position. If we control the pendulum, what happens to the card position, that is given in the next slide. So here also we consider a separate schematic diagram for the card position, and we got a transfer function from this. Next slide. And when we put a code into the MATLAB, and we try to analyze where is the position of the card, and we find that, next slide. Here there is the cart goes in the negative direction with a constant velocity. So although we can analyze, we can finally conclude that a PID controller can control the angle of pendulum itself. And the one of the drawback of PID control is that we can't use it in an actual physical system. That's all about the PID controller. When we coming into the root locus, next slide. When we coming into the root locus controller design, here there is a one task that is to be needed, that when we control the system using root locus, the root locus will be given the transfer function to the root locus. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, here when we given the transfer function and the root locus, we observe that one branch is in the right half of the S-plane. So from this we can directly analyze that the system is unstable. So that we can't control using this type of root locus. So what should we need? We should need to convert, or we should move that right half branch into the completely to the left of the S-plane. So that is a one of the task that should be done before we are going to control the response or control the pendulum. So g- uh, convert that into left half of the plane by using the PID controller. That's all about this root locus design. Next next we are if we can add zeros to the origin, so that we can convert that right half plane branch into the left, but it is impossible to add that directly. So we use a PID controller to use that thing. So here after the root locus design is made what possible, then we are looking into the response of the system increase. Sorry, next slide. Next slide. Next slide. When we coming into, we should analyze is this approach or met the criteria of us. That is a criteria. If we looking into the root locus design, both the criteria are achieved, and we can see that in a response here. Next slide. Next. Next. Here. Uh, Please. Here when we look into the graph response of the cart angle, we are considering that, I already told that we consider that as a two different systems. So here we can conclude that the system response is given that it does not overshoot 0.05, and the cart pendulum is coming just in the vertical upright position within the 5 seconds. That's all about the root locus control on angle of the pendulum. At that time, what happens to the cart is that, next slide, cart position is that, next slide, cart position, it becomes unstable. It become unstable, and we can't stabilize the cart position at that time. So from the analysis, that from these two controllers we can control the angle of the pendulum, but we can't control the position of the cart. That's all about these two controllers. And the next controller is it will be presented by Chris. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'll be discussing about designing a controller using frequency response method. For this, we need the transfer function of the pendulum as well as the cart. Here you can see the transfer function of the pendulum. The controller we are designing will specifically attempt to maintain the pendulum vertically upward when the cart is subjected to a 1 Newton-second impulse. Under these conditions, the design requirements for this system are settling time of less than 5 seconds, pendulum angle never more than 0.05 radians from vertical. Next slide. Now we will draw the schematic of this problem as depicted here. The input is force F, the output is pendulum angle phi, and the transfer function of this closed loop system is given below. Next slide. Now we will consider two different methods, that is closed loop response without compensation and with compensation. First of all, we'll see closed loop response without compensation. For this, we will draw a Bode plot corresponding to the transfer function. Our system is a non-minimum phase system because we have a pole in the right half of the complex plane. We'll now examine the Bode plot. Here in this Bode plot, the magnitude, we can see that the magnitude is less than 0 decibel and the phase is greater than minus 180 degree for all frequencies, which is the instability criteria for a non-minimum phase system. Hence, our system is unstable theoretically. Next slide. Let's examine Let's examine the graphs. Here you can see that the impulse response is unstable because the amplitude is not stable within 0.05. Next slide. We can also verify this using Nyquist plot by applying Nyquist stability criteria, which is Z equal to P plus N. We know that our system has one open loop hole on the right plane. Therefore, P is equal to 1. Can you take the previous slide, Anis? As you can see here in the Nyquist plot, there is no encirclements of point -1. So n will be 0. Hence, we get z value as 1, which means that there is a closed loop pole on the right half plane. Hence, our system is indeed unstable. So, closed loop control response without compensation is unstable. Next slide. Next slide.
Okay,
Now
another 2 to 3 minutes. Wind up in another 2 to 3 minutes.
Now we'll see the second method, closed loop response with compensation. This is how the graph looks like with inbuilt integrator. Even with the addition of integrator, it is unstable as the magnitude is less than 0 decibel. Next slide. We can understand the instability better by examining the Nyquist plot. It can be plotted using control system designer. So here we have, there is an encirclement in clockwise direction around the point -1. So our system is still unstable. Next slide. So to make this stable, we'll add phase in order to get a counterclockwise encirclement. So we'll do this by adding a 0 to our controller. Next slide. Now we'll get the plot like this, but still this is unstable because the encirclement is still in clockwise direction. So by using trial and error method, we'll again add 1 0 at -1. Next slide. Now we'll get the plot like this. It is again in the clockwise direction, as you can see. So to make it stable, or we can say to make it anti-clockwise, we'll add some gain by increasing the magnitude of each point of the Nyquist plot. Next slide. So now it is in counterclockwise direction. So we get Z as 0, and hence there is no poles on the right half plane. Therefore, our system is now stable. Next slide. However, using the transfer function, we'll get the response of pendulum position, but there is a overshoot, that is the amplitude is above 0.05. So to reduce this, by trial and error method, we'll move one of the zeros farther to the left in the complex plane, which makes the response faster. Next slide. By using this controller, it satisfies our design requirements. So now the overshoot is cancelled and the amplitude is below 0.05 and it stabilizes within 5 seconds. Now our response has met the design goals. The pendulum has met the design goals. Now using this command, we can get the response of cart position. There is no overshoot. The amplitude is less than 0.05 and it stabilizes within 5 seconds. So it has met our design goals. With this, by using frequency control, we could stabilize the pendulum and the cart. So this is all about frequency control. Thank you. Over to Anis.
Hello. So I'll be talking about the simulation aspect of our project. So basically, first thing, it's pretty challenging to do this in Simulink because of the pin joint between the pendulum and the cart, because this reduces the degrees of freedom in the system. So this can be resolved by, we'll generate differential equations for these degrees of freedom. So this is done from the Newton's laws. So these are the equations. And now we are building a non-linear model with Simulink. So yeah, okay. From the non-linear model, we get a simulated pendulum cart diagram. So this is when it's in stable condition. And this is the output for the pendulum angle and the cart position. So this is the graph obtained. Then we are extracting a linear model from the same simulation. So we add these six values into the MATLAB console, and then we obtain the impulse graphs. It's already discussed. Yeah. So this. So now let's move on to the control aspect. Yeah. So the same concept. Now we are supposed to we are trying to control the system. So the graph obtained this time, it's a little different from the previous one. The overshoot is greatly reduced. Yeah, so real life examples, some of them are given here. Thank you.